Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how to make these easy, delicious, Halloween, not too spooky, not too scary cupcakes for kids. This is a very easy recipe. I'm going to be using a few items that are very accessible in the supermarket, and yeah guys, so let me show you how I make these cupcakes. Okay guys, so quickly I'm going to tell you all the items I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using some mixing bowls, large mixing bowl. I've got my mixing spoon here, very large mixing spoon. I also have my frosting knife right here. I'm using a small, you can use this for butter or for soft cheese. I like to use it for cupcakes because I like the size of it. And I received this as a gift from the Pampered Chef. For my cake mix, I'm going to be using the Cake Boss Chocolate Trifecta. This is a very rich chocolate cake, and it tastes very similar to a lot of the cakes that you get from the, those posh upper scale cake stores. This is really nice, tastes really great. Also, I'm going to be using, I might be using the Candy Crush Color Bombs. I don't know. I think I'm going to use that. I'm still working that out. Also, I'm going to be using some oil, Western oil, just a little bit of that. Going to be using some frostings also. These are your standard supermarket frostings I'm going to be using. One in white and one in chocolate. And also I'm going to be using the Funfetti frosting by Pillsbury. I'm going to use this black sparkle frosting. Oh, this is not really frosting, guys. This is like, it's like a sugar, liquid sugar, creamy sugar that you can use either to top your cookies or your cupcakes. And so I'm going to be using this as some detail accent work on top of the cupcakes. I'm going to be using a cupcake pan. I'm going to be using this cookie sheet, place it on top of, and I put it in the oven. And then I'm going to be using these cute little cupcake papers. These are really nice. And these are the paper kind. These aren't aluminum. And yeah guys, so I'm going to get started making a spooky Halloween cupcake. Not too spooky though. Okay, so I'm going to start with the cake mix, guys. Now the cake mix is very easy. Everything is packaged separately. The larger package has the cake flour in it, and then a smaller package has the like this pudding custard that's going to make the muffins taste extra rich and extra chocolatey. So I'm just going to mix all the ingredients together. And as you can see, when it comes out, it's just a deep dark chocolate, and it smells absolutely delicious. When I was squeezing it out, it has a nice rich chocolatey smell. And I think this is what gives it the flavor to make it taste very rich and upper scale. So I'm just going to add the water, 1 cup of water. Next is a 1/4 cup of oil. And then I'm going to add 3 eggs, room temperature eggs. And I know I said 2 eggs earlier, but this recipe calls for 3 eggs, so we'll be using 3 eggs. And I'm going to blend everything very well. It says to blend it for about, I think 3 minutes if you're using a blender. I'm going to do it the old school way, the way I knew how to make cakes. We used a large spoon and a large mixing bowl. So that's the way I'm going to do it. That's the way my grandmother and my mother showed me how to mix batter, and so I still do it that way today. So I'm just going to put the cupcake liners into the pan. And I'm using the Technique cupcake pan. It's the rubberized one. So I'm going to be using that. And I find that those work really well. As a matter of fact, you don't even need the liners. But, because it'll pop out very easy if you don't use the liners. But these liners are fun and festive, and that's what I'm going to use those today. And so I'm just going to spoon in the cake mix into the cupcake liners. And you can see how smooth the cupcake batter is, the cake batter is. It came out so smooth. So now I'm just going to place it in the oven for about 18 minutes. Really, it was about 15. And so I've already started decorating them, guys. So I just wanted to finish up and show you how I'm just going to just make one cupcake, because I don't want this video to be very long. But I did use the Candy Crush Color Bombs to help cover up a lot of mistakes that I made on the cupcakes. And so I'm going to do the same with this one as well. So very quickly, I just want to just put some frosting on this, kind of make it look fun. And then I'm going to top it off with one of the Candy Crush Color Bombs. So first I'm going to just spread some chocolate frosting over top. And the chocolate frosting is room temperature also. And I'm just going to spread it on. And this is why I like to use this knife for cakes and soft cheeses. It just spreads soft foods very, very nicely. So now I'm using that Funfetti orange icing. I chose to use that instead of making an orange icing because it was just easier. It was just quicker. And so right now I'm just kind of making it look Halloween festive with the two colors. Almost like a candy corn in a way. And now I'm just going to just top it off with a little bit of this is the black sparkle gel topping frosting. And I was trying really to make a spider web like I did on a couple of the other cupcakes, but it didn't come out so well, as you will see. But anyway, I'll top it with one of the color bombs. And yeah, kids like it like that, so it doesn't matter. And yeah, the gel wasn't squeezing out of the tube as easily as it did for the others. But yeah, I made it, I made it work. So anyway, I probably should have stopped there, but I tried to make the spider web. But anyway, this is how I would make it, just dragging a toothpick from the center outward. And that's the way I did it for all the others. So this, to me, didn't come out that nicely. So what I'm going to do is just put one of the Candy Crush color bombs on top. And guys, that's it. That's the finished product. These are the ones I made. This was a very quick video. I just wanted to show you how to mix the cake batter and everything. And these are the cupcakes. I'm going to be serving them. And yeah, guys, so this is my first Halloween cupcakes that I made in a long while. But anyway, guys, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I'd be very, very happy to answer them for you. And thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.